favor. I want you to hit that like button. I want you to hit that share button, and I want you to tag Lolly Dolly everybody and let them know your boy, my squad, and the Ramonepreston Show. We're live right here in the beautiful Buckhead community of Atlanta. My hope and expectation is that your day, your week is going absolutely amazing. If for some reason your day, your week ain't going absolutely amazing, we're going to see if we can give you some game to change that. As a matter of fact, I have a special announcement that I want to make on the show today. And once I make this announcement, I want to challenge you to respond so that you can be a part of the statistical numbers that are being exposed today. There are some statistical numbers that are being exposed that economic experts are sharing, and I want you to be a part of those statistical numbers. So again, welcome to the Ramonepreston Show. I appreciate you coming on and joining me live today. Would you be so kind to put in the comments what city you're watching your boy from? Please let me know what city you're watching me from. All you have to do is type in the comments if you're watching from a computer, or if you're watching from your phone, just put in the comments what city you're watching me from. I really appreciate your support. For those of you that are a part of any of our programs that we offer here at Ramonepreston Enterprises, I want to say thank you so much for trusting me and my team to work with you, because it is an honor for my team and I to help you take your personal, your professional, and your financial life to the next level. So please put in the comments what city you're watching your boy from. I see Huntsville, North Carolina is in his house. How you doing? We got Valdosta, GA in his house. Good afternoon. We got Kennesaw, Georgia. Appreciate you, A-List Real Estate, for joining and for being a part of the show today. All of you, please put in the comments what city you're watching the show from. Now, I want to start with some statistics that are circulating around on social media. One of those statistics is coming from a group of experts who did some research, and their research was based on not only how many millionaires we currently have in the United States of America, but how many millionaires are we projected to have within the next few years. And here is what their conclusion was. Their conclusion was, statistically, we have about 22 million millionaires in the United States of America as of January 2023. All right? So let's just start there. If you ain't one of those 22 million millionaires, it don't mean you ain't gonna be one. It just means that there are some things that they might know. There may be some people they might know. There may be some things that they might be doing that you don't know, or you don't know to do, or maybe you don't have the capability of doing. Now, of course, we have to rule out all the people who are a part of the systemic issues that keep a lot of us down automatically. So we ain't gonna overlook the fact that there are systems and infrastructures that have already been built to keep you and I down. But what we ain't finna do is allow the systemic issues, the systems and the barriers to keep us down, because we have a thing called technology. We have platforms that provide us opportunities to do what we're doing right now, and that is to connect with one another at the highest level and to implement and execute principles and concepts that can get us beyond these barriers, beyond these systemic issues and these systems that have been set up and built to keep us down. Now, with that being said, we have about 22 million millionaires in the United States of America today. What these experts have concluded is that from a pure numbers perspective, from a pure analytical perspective, they are projecting the number of millionaires to double within the next 3 years. Do you hear the words that are coming out of my mouth? So as of today, January 2023, this is very important for what I want to share with you today. As of today, there are about 22 million millionaires, okay? So what they're saying is in 3 years, that's, let's say January 2026, we're gonna go from 22 million to about 45 million. The number of millionaires will double within the next 36 months. Now, my question to you, even though we're not in person, even though you're not in my masterclass here at my headquarters, or we're not in a coaching session, but we are somewhat in a session and in a masterclass, even on this live, my question to you is, what do you think is one of the biggest differentiators between the 300 plus million people in the United States of America and the 22 million millionaires that exist today, and the other 22 to 23 million that will exist in the next 3 years? What do you think are the things that are going to move another 22 million people into the category of becoming millionaires? You need to put yourself in a position today so that within the next 36 months, 3 short years from now, you can be one of these 45 million millionaires in the United States of America. So what are some of the differences? What are some of the things that these people have that most of the world don't have? Well, I can tell you now, there are many things that these individuals have. Thank you. A-List Real Estate said information, action, connection. That's so good. That's so good. Information, action, and connection. Because if you and I can put ourselves in a position to get the resources and the tools that we need in order to even put ourselves in play, just to put yourself in play. I heard somebody say the other day that if the young man Jackson that plays for the Baltimore Ravens, if he was able to play as the quarterback, that they probably would have won that playoff game. Okay, maybe it's hypothetical. Maybe they're just, overanalyzing. But the truth is this: you can't win a game you ain't playing in. Can we all agree on that? You cannot win a game that you are not playing in. And most people, particularly in the United States of America, they are not even playing the millionaire game. Now, I know you might not necessarily be familiar with a lot of the information and the education that I provide as a business consultant and coach and trainer, but one of the principles and concepts that I teach my students and I provide for my clients is the principle and the concept of what I call the income ladder of success. The income ladder of success. I actually have an entire course built around this income ladder of success because I use it as a basis to show you how important your financial literacy is in light of you not just becoming a millionaire, but in light of you becoming financially free and creating some level of generational wealth for you, for your children, and for your children's children. And I can tell you today, one of the biggest differentiators between most of the world today, not just in the United States of America, but everybody in the world, almost 8 billion people, one of the biggest differentiators between them and the 22 million people who are millionaires and the other 22 plus million people who will be millionaires within the next 3 years is their level of financial literacy. Their level of financial literacy, okay? So it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter if you have the ladder in your hand to climb to become successful. If you do not have the capacity and the capability of getting up that ladder, perhaps you're going to slip and fall, or you're going to find yourself back at rock bottom. Because one of the biggest differentiators between people who are millionaires today and the double of people who will become millionaires in the next 3 years, one of the biggest differentiators is their level of financial literacy. Now, you can agree with me, you can disagree with me, but trust me, if you are not financially literate, and financially literate at the highest level of financial literacy, it's going to be very difficult, close to impossible, for you to not only climb the income ladder of success, but for you to even be a part of those 22 million millionaires that exist today and the 45 that will exist within the next 3 years. Now, according to my income ladder of success, there are about 8 stages of income classes, okay? But when you break the income classes up, they're made up of the poor class, they're made up of the middle class, and then they're made up of the upper class. So each one of those classes here, you have 3. You have 1, you have 2, you have 3. So let me just kind of paint this picture for you real quick. And again, I have a graph that I'm not pulling up to use, because I really just want to make a point on how important your financial literacy is, and what your financial literacy encompasses. Because most people just think if they have one aspect of financial literacy that they have all aspects. That's not how it works. So let's just focus on this. So you have 3 main income classes. So you have the upper, right? So this, let's say, is 400K and up. It could be up to Elon Musk. You have hundreds of billions of dollars. But this class goes from upper to millionaires to rich to wealthy to super wealthy. Then you have the middle class. And here you have about 3 subcategories, because you have the lower middle class, you have the middle of the middle, and you have the upper middle. And this is typically somewhere between 32K and just shy of 400K, okay? So we'll just say 399 just to be exact. And then you have the poor class. So of course this is 0 up to 32K. So I want you to see this. I'm not even gonna put lower class, it's really the poor class. But I want you to see this, because when I say the biggest differentiator between the 22 million people who are millionaires and the projected 45 million people who will be millionaires in 3 years is their level of financial literacy, what I'm referring to is what type of information are they taking in for finances? What type of information are they taking in for taxes, for banking, for retirement, for financial planning, for business ownership, for entrepreneurship, for investing? All of these different components that people gather information on is either going to be poor class information, it's going to be middle class information, or it's going to be upper class information. And trust me, I have been at these income classes, and the level of information is different on each one. As a matter of fact, I ain't trying to throw no shade, but I was watching a short interview that Robert Kiyosaki did, the Rich Dad Poor Dad author, and someone was asking him about different classes, even though he has a different set of names and phrases and statements and grids and graphs that he uses. But he said something that caught my attention. He said, in no uncertain terms, poor people, if they listen to Susie Orman. He said middle class people listen to Dave Ramsey. He said, and everybody else that's in the upper class, rich, millionaires, filthy rich, wealthy, they listen to a different set of information. They listen to different people. So this is going to be very, very important. So again, there are so many different components that we can add to this list of things that separate the 22 million people who are millionaires from everybody else that's not a millionaire, most of which are not even like at $32,000 a year. Like most of like this is 29% of the of households right here, the poor class. The middle class is 70% of the population. This is only 1% of American households. And these are statistics that I know, and I teach them in my Income Ladder of Success course. But I just wanted to show you this so you can understand the power of you becoming financially literate and you putting yourself at play, at least for the next 3 years, to just give yourself a chance to maybe be one of those millionaires. Like, because if you don't do anything different for the next 3 years, 3 years from now, you'll be looking back to today saying, wow, where could I have been had I listened to somebody like Ramonepreston? Had I deployed the information and the intelligence that people like Ramonepreston was sharing with me? Where could I be by now? But I don't want that to be your story. I want you to be able to look back 3 years from now and say, I'm glad I listened to them and I deployed the information. I'm glad that I executed at the highest level, and I'm glad that I made a decision not to take financial advice, business advice, entrepreneurship advice, investing advice, tax advice, all these different components that make up financial literacy. I'm glad that I didn't take that advice from a poor class level or a middle class level. I'm glad I elevated my game so I could put myself in play to become one of those 45 million millionaires. So think about it. Out of all the households in America, only 29% of these households are considered poor class. They make $32,000 or less, all right? 70% of these households in America are considered middle class. They make $32,000, just shy of $400,000. Most of these 70% of households are really like in the middle of the middle. So you have the lower middle, which is about 32 to 60,000. Then you have the middle of the middle, which is about 60 to 110. Most of these 70% are somewhere between 60 and 110, and that's with 2-person households. And only 1% of American households make $400,000 a year. So do you have a desire to even climb the income ladder of success? Do you feel like there's a God-given responsibility, obligation, or duty for you to become one of the 22 million millionaires in the United States today? Or one of the 45 million that will exist in 3 years? Because if that number is going to double, I can promise you that number is doubling, because the 22 million people who are going to leave the middle class and the poor class, these two classes within the next 3 years, the information that they're getting about financial literacy, about business, entrepreneurship, banking, taxes, investing, retirement, financial planning, holding companies, legacy wealth building, I promise you that information is coming from here. That information is coming from people who are already in the 1% and who have figured out ways to get to the 1%. So I'm very, very passionate, but I'm very, very purposeful in my intention today to challenge you to not make sense of poor class, 32,000 or less. I'm very passionate and intentional, purposeful in my intention to challenge you not to make sense of even the 32,000 a year to 400,000 a year, which is the middle. I want you to challenge yourself to start thinking on the 1% level. How can I put myself at play? And if the basis of me putting myself at play is dependent upon financial literacy, but financial literacy at the highest level, then what I need to do is I need to make sure that I am connecting with the right source of information that pushes me to that trajectory. I hope what I'm saying is making sense to you. If it is, I want you to put in the comments that it's making sense to you. I want you to let me know if I'm talking to you, if you actually want to be a part of that 1%. And you're just tired of living paycheck to paycheck, scrapping and struggling as an entrepreneur. You can't get your business bearings together. You feel like there are missing elements of what you're doing in your organization and operation. All that can change. And you've got to be willing to do what needs to be done to change it. And I promise you, it's going to begin by you educating yourself. Because see, here's the thing about education and training and community. It creates accountability. It challenges you. CB Enterprises says absolutely makes sense. It absolutely makes sense. So as I said, learning and educating yourself and training. Thank you, A-List. It's making sense. So learning and educating and training yourself on the highest level of financial literacy is going to require you to know. It's going to require you to know. There has to be a knowing, okay? Not just a following. You can't just follow people on social media. Now, I'm giving you some real game right here, okay? So getting financially lit, becoming financially lit at the highest level. And when I say at the highest level, I'm talking about 1%, $400,000 or more. This is the financial literacy I'm talking about. In order to get this type of financial literacy, it's going to require more than just following people on social media. It's going to require more than just listening to people on social media. It's going to require you to engage in the highest level of education and training and execution. And this is all going to create this accountability. All right? So we have to go from following and listening. This ain't enough because everybody's following people on social media. Every time I sit down and talk with a new entrepreneur, they're always telling me that, oh, such and such is my mentor. Oh, I've gone through such and such class and course, and I've connected with this mastermind group. But if there's no evident change and transformation in your life, in your finances, and or in your business, what you're saying to me is, I followed them, I listened to them, but I didn't take the education and training and put it into execution to see tangible results. So either they did not give you the highest level of education or training, or you just followed and listened and never really received it so that you can properly deploy it. And we need to change that because, again, if we have statistics that are showing within the next 36 months, the number of millionaires in America will double. It will go from around 22 million to around 45 million. You need to execute at the highest level for the next 36 months. You need to have a plan of action in place. You need to have quantifiable goals. And you need to be sure that whatever information, whatever education and training that you are executing and deploying, that it is creating some level of accountability for you to trend towards $400,000 or more. I promise you, everything in your life will change when you start trending towards this. And I have participated in poor class education and training. I have participated in middle class education and training. And I can tell you that it kept me stuck. And even as an entrepreneur, it kept me plateauing because I tried to figure out year after year, why can't I make more money? Or why, when I have one good year, I subsequently have 2 bad years? Why is it that as many events that I go to and as much information I'm exposing myself to and as many people as I'm connecting with and trying my best to learn from, why is it not sticking? What is preventing me from dialing in on the most important things that can trend me up? And I promise you, it was the level of financial literacy that I was receiving, because I was following people, I was listening to people, I wasn't getting top level education, I wasn't getting top level training, I wasn't executing at the top level or at the highest level, and I really didn't have accountability. And if you're an entrepreneur, you are the most susceptible one. You are very susceptible, which means that you have a higher likelihood to not be coached, to not be mentored, to not be held accountable, because you are such a free thinker. And I say this with respect to all of you that are entrepreneurs, but you are very susceptible, meaning that you are highly likely to not be mentored, to not be coached, to not pay for those types of services because of the type of personality you have, because of the type of disposition you have. It's not that you're just naturally cocky or arrogant or prideful or egotistical, but you have this will, you have this disposition, you have this attitude, because I was you. I was that person. For years, nobody couldn't tell me, and I say it respectfully, but nobody really couldn't tell me that I wasn't going to be successful. I was not listening to them. And you really couldn't convince me for years that I couldn't do what I saw other people doing. For example, if I saw somebody that was a coach or a consultant or educator, they had courses, they were doing masterminds or events, I always felt to myself, man, I can do that. Like, what are they doing that I can't do? I'm just as much of a man as they are. All I got to do is just read and study and put it to practice, and at some point it's going to work. And I realized I was actually wrong, because what I didn't understand was no matter how good I got, I could not execute at the highest level the information, the education, and even the training that I was receiving if I was not held accountable, because I was giving myself too many passes. And so one year I'm like, I'm gonna crush it. And then 6 months in, I'm like, you know what, I'll just wait till next year. And then next year come and I'll do good for about a week or two. And then I'll fall off because something happens for 2 months. And then I try to reset it by April and I'm back thrown off and, out of focus and out of sync by August. It was so inconsistent. My schedule was inconsistent. My products and services were inconsistent. My daily habits were inconsistent. My education was inconsistent. My relationships, everything was inconsistent. And so I had to make a drastic change. And so you might be at that place right now in your life. You might be at that place in your career. And if you're an entrepreneur, maybe you're at that place in your business, like I was, that you just tired of just going around the circle every year and ain't seeing no change. And if you want to change, guess what? You got to change. Do you understand what I just said? If you want to change, you got to change. And the first thing that you need to change is the education and the training that you're receiving. Your execution ain't gonna change. Your accountability is not gonna change if you don't change the things that need to change. And that's you being willing to open yourself up to receive things at a higher level and not to allow yourself to make sense of all of this stuff that people are giving you that don't work. As I said, when Robert Kiyosaki, the author of Rich Dad, Poor Dad, when I heard him say, If you're poor, you should listen to Susie Orman. If you're middle class, you should listen to Dave Ramsey. If you're upper class and above, you have to listen to different people. You have to get a different set of education and training. You have to have a different level of all this other stuff. That's basically what he was saying. When I heard him say that, I started thinking about at least the two people that he mentioned and the type of information that they do share and how they appeal to mass audiences, most of whom are either in the poor class, they make $32,000 or less, or they're in the middle, most of which are in the middle of the middle. That's almost 70% of America in the middle, and then 29. That's almost the whole population. If you do not want to be stuck in that rat race any longer, because most likely you're watching me, you're in that rat race. You're in that middle class 70%, or you're in that poor class. If you want to get out of that rat race, you want to elevate yourself, you have to introduce yourself to new data, new information, education, training, and a higher level of execution. Now, here's where the special announcement comes in at, because by now, if you don't know, I'm a business coach. I'm a business consultant. I'm an educator. I have educational courses. I have business coaching programs and many other services and products that I provide to help people properly start, properly structure, and properly scale their businesses and their finances. And so a part of today's show is the special announcement, because my team and I, we're committed to helping you become one of those 22 million people that will be millionaires within the next 3 years. If you're not one of the 22 million millionaires that exist today, you can be one of the 45 that will exist in the next 3 years. All you have to do is just deploy what I'm saying to you and giving to you, at least for the next 3 years. As a matter of fact, if you just take what I'm challenging you to take and introducing you to for a year, not for the next 3, just for a year, most likely 1 year from now, you will already be trending towards 400,000, if not beyond that, because you will have the blueprint, you will have the tools, you will have the information, you will have the education and training, the platform, the community, the accountability to help facilitate that, because you cannot do it alone. If you could do it alone, you would have done it. I know you're a very strong-willed person. I know your mind is made up. I know you're determined. I know you're willing. I know you're ready. I know you're hungry. I know you're a grinder and a go-getter. But the truth is this: if you have not been able to cross that threshold into the 1%, to either have at least $400,000 a year coming in so you can start trending towards becoming a millionaire, and you're doing it alone, that should be the proof that you just cannot do it alone. And God knows if you're doing it with people and you're still not there, then that means you're around the wrong people. That means you have to reset your relationships in every area of your life. And so this is a part of the announcement, because what I'm doing is I am extending an offer because I want to help as many people as I can. I was talking to somebody the other day and they were like asking me, why are you doing all the things that you're doing? Like, what are you going to get out of it? This is one of my mentees that I'm pouring into, and I'm helping, and I'm literally investing tens of thousands of dollars into my mentees to help them become millionaires. And one of my mentees on a coaching call was asking me like, well, if you did all this for me, what are you going to get out of it? And I'm like, I'm not looking for anything from you. What I'm going to get out of it is when you get to the top, when this produces the financial results that I know it's going to produce for you, the fact that you're going to give me some credit because I helped you get there and I gave you the blueprint, that's going to be my pay. And they were like, yeah, but you're still not getting paid monetarily. I'm like, I am getting paid monetarily, because you're getting paid monetarily and we have a business relationship. And so I want to extend a challenge, but it's an offer, an opportunity for you to find yourself a seat in a community of someone who has already accomplished what you should be trending to accomplish. And that is to become one of those 45 million millionaires that will exist in the next 3 years. And so what I decided to do, and I've already talked to my team about it, and they're all prepared to communicate with you, to share more information with you. We're offering access to our Millionaire Blueprint for as low as $99 a month. For as low as $99 a month. So if you don't know what my Millionaire Blueprint is, all you have to do is, of course, you can call in and speak with me and my team, but you can also just go to Ramonepreston.com. That's Ramonepreston.com. My Millionaire Blueprint is a 1-year online business and financial wealth building system. Like, this Millionaire Blueprint is literally a blueprint for you, whether you're an individual working a W-2 job or an entrepreneur. I teach you how to set and quantify your personal and professional and financial goals. I teach you how to start and structure your LLCs, your holding companies, your operating companies. I teach you all the ins and outs of creative tax strategies, financial literacy like financial planning, income and expense tracking, banking, investing, real estate investing. We have courses on real estate investing. I teach you about sales and marketing, how to build a corporate infrastructure for your systems and processes and your operational procedures, how to measure these activities in your business. So this Millionaire Blueprint, we're giving you access to it for as low as $99 a month. Of course, you cannot go to my website and find these prices, because this is something I'm extending to people that are in my community, that follow me, that listen to me, that have heard enough to know that he knows what he's saying, he's living what he's saying, and I want to be a part of that. So you would have to reach out to us. You would have to text the word millionaire to this number so that we can speak with you over the phone and we can get you onboarded as soon as today for just $99, and that's access to our Millionaire Blueprint. We're also extending a special offer for our Millionaire Mentorship Program, and this is my 1-year accelerated coaching and consulting program. So if you know you need a business mentor, but you want a program that you can be mentored in, our Millionaire Mentorship provides you 1-year access to our Millionaire Blueprint, but it also gives you 1-year access to our weekly coaching calls. And we have 2 different options. We have a Mentorship Gold and we have a Mentorship Diamond. So the Gold Mentorship is $169 a month, and it includes the Millionaire Blueprint. It includes weekly coaching calls. It also includes 2 VIP tickets to 2 of our workshops. So we host 4 workshops a year. You have the choice to come to 2 absolutely free just because you're in my Millionaire Mentorship Program. It also comes with 1 VIP ticket to our headquarter day, which is a day that you're able to come and schedule to shadow my team and I to actually see how a successful organization runs. And of course, we have a Diamond membership that comes with the Blueprint, weekly calls, but it comes with all 4 of our workshops, our headquarter day, and it comes with 2 other courses and events. One is our Business Incubator, which is a course and a 1-day event to teach you the structure phase of your business. And we also have a course and a 1-day boot camp to teach you how to start and build your coaching business. So if you're a coach or a consultant and you need to be trained about client acquisition, you need to be trained about the business of consulting and how to start a coaching business and how to price it and structure it, we have an entire course and a 1-day boot camp, all included in our Millionaire Mentorship Program for as low as $169 a month. So all you have to do is reach out to me. You can't look back 3 years from now when the number of millionaires double and say, man, I wish I was one of those millionaires. But then you're also going to look back and think, this guy, this millionaire mogul, was on social media just about every day. He was hosting live shows. He was giving us millions of dollars worth of game. And he was making it so easy for us to come into the ecosystem that he's created to help people become millionaires. So all you have to do is reach out to me. Text the word millionaire to 404-478-7213. When you do, we're going to reach back out to you today and we'll explain more details about what our millionaire blueprint is. You may have a couple questions that you need some answers on. We can share with you the 2 options in our mentorship program. And I would love to have an opportunity to either educate you for a whole year or to educate and mentor you for a whole year. Imagine having 1 year being mentored by me, my team, being in a community, having access to our workshops, our weekly calls, being able to learn about how to start your own coaching and consulting business, how to build it out, and how to structure the current business that you have for as little as $169 a month. I mean, come on. Come on, you waste $169 a month just going to the convenience store, as low as $169 a month. If you cannot afford $169 a month to be coached, to be mentored, and to be educated, then you're probably not ready for business. And if you can't afford $99 a month to have a world-class blueprint that can show you all the ins and outs of becoming a millionaire, then you're probably not ready to even start that journey. But if you are, I want you to reach out to me and I want to make it available for you. We can get you onboarded in a matter of minutes and you can start training, educating, and executing at the highest level today. This is the personal playbook of my life. Everything that I teach you, everything that I mentor you on in my workshops, in my one-day events, it's all what I have used to become who I am today and to do what I do today. And so I would love to have the opportunity to speak with you. All you have to do is text the word millionaire to 404-478-7213. Again, today is Tuesday, January the 17th, 2023, and we're here live in the beautiful Buckhead community of Atlanta on the Ramonepreston Show. I appreciate your support. I appreciate you giving me and my team an opportunity to even share information with you that we know can help you start, structure, and scale your business and your finances. And I will be even more grateful and appreciative for you to make a commitment and a decision for yourself and for your family to get educated and trained at the highest level, to execute at the highest level, and be in a community of networking and familiarity and accountability that can keep you trending towards becoming one of those 45 million millionaires that will exist in the next 3 years. Thank you. Love you. I appreciate you. I'll be back here tomorrow, same place, same time, 12 o'clock noon, right here on the Ramonepreston Show.